Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing safe and healthy back in your homes. My name is Amit. We are a family of four having two school going children. Weekends are special because that's where we go outdoors. And school breaks are more special because that is the time where we plan for long vacations with our family outside our busy schedules. On the work front, I am an IT architect with close to 20 years of experience, and with my team of experts, I design and deliver the IT solutions for my customers. One aspect of my job is also to deliver trainings to the customers that I work with and some of my colleagues in my organization. So as you can see, my job requires a lot of human interaction as well as travel because of the work. Now today I'm with you to share my experience going through this pandemic. Let me take you back to March this year. Before the pre-COVID life, when there was a completely different routine, and when the lockdown was announced, we were all taken back by a sudden change in our lives, and of course none of us were ready for it. Now imagine a pre-COVID scenario where I had to get up early in the morning, dispatch my kids to school, and then rush through my morning breakfast tea and the breakfast itself, and then get ready for my office and be in office before 9. Suddenly after this lockdown was announced, there was a completely different routine. I found myself waking up late. I didn't have any need to wake up early again. Okay, I could just go easily through my morning routines and then work through the day and without moving an inch from my room, right? Working out of my comfort zone. So this was a very welcome change. I'm sure a lot of you also went through the same. And initially we all welcomed it wholeheartedly. But then, which wife would not like his husband making morning tea for her, and that too willingly? Yeah, I'm sure you will appreciate that. Well, then came the point where I started realizing that I have more hours available to me during the day which I was not using. Okay, I was no longer spending time on getting ready for the office or traveling back and forth with my office, right? And more importantly, the time that I used to spend with my family over the weekends on, let's say, window shopping or social gatherings, all of that time was back available to us. And not just me, even my kids, they were not spending time on travel, right? So the question was, were we really using this time as productively as we should have? This was the most important asset or resource that anyone can have, the time. But the answer to this question was no. We were doing fewer things in more amount of time. At this point, I started introspecting my daily routine. Although I couldn't go out for a walk, but I could introduce some exercises in my routine every day. Now, there are very useful apps and videos online, which could tell you the tips about how to do exercises, and you can start adopting them. But the problem was not that. You can bring the horse to the well, but can you make the horse drink the water? No. The same thing happened to me. Although I had access to the plethora of information and videos available, but was it good enough for me to stay fit? No. I kept procrastinating about starting this exercise. Maybe, we'll do it in the evening, we'll do it tomorrow morning, or let's just wait for the weekend. That would be a good start. But this was just keep moving. And I realized the problem was I was not finding the exercise regime that I could look forward to every day. This has to be something that motivates you to do and that fits your routine, that fits your requirements, your body type, so that was the thing. Well, thanks to my family, we finally found a way to move forward, and I would say part of it was because they started cutting down on my favorite things until I became regular and punctual. We all learned hard way. Now, my kids also joined me, or you can say I joined them because they started doing much better than me. But we eventually helped each other to move forward. Slowly, I slowly I started realizing that my daily activity targets were in my reach, in my control, I'm achieving them. And the fun fact is, when you do exercises, the body releases specific type of hormone, it's called endorphins. And the beauty of the endorphins is, the more the body releases, it makes you feel happier, it makes you feel better about your well-being. So you see the net result, you are motivated to do it again and more. So I realized that I have one less problem to worry about now because this has been taken care, and I felt the art of possible. Now here's my advice for the parents, especially with young kids. There are a lot of exercises, there are a lot of videos available online which you can start adopting, and a lot of them are so interesting that they engage the whole family in a more of a fun way, and not really those boring exercise routines which people don't look forward to. So I would really suggest you go and explore and start doing that. Well, here's the positive point for social media, it's not really bad at all. एक पैरा हो गया ना, let's stop it.
बोल सकते हैं, आपने 2 मिनट बोला है.
अरे ये कैसे होएगा?
Engaging them in fitness was good, but slowly I realized it was not good enough. COVID lockdown had not only restricted me, but also them. And they were not going out in the evening to play with their friends or go for biking or activities which they used to do earlier. And they had those few hours back in their pocket, underutilized. Okay? And slowly I realized that this problem was much, much tougher than I initially thought. I encouraged them, I persuaded them to adopt hobby of book reading. But books are boring. Okay, why don't we try some board games like chess and ludo and other stuff? But who likes these board games in current times when there are so many digital games available online? Okay, so it didn't work out, sorry. Art and craft is a good hobby, I think we should try that. But eventually I couldn't afford to see the piles of shredded paper throughout my home, and I started wondering what's going wrong. I'm sure you can relate to it that many of you have also grown up using these kind of hobbies in your childhood. But why was it not working with my kids? What was wrong in these time and tested methods? And the answer that I found was a golden hammer syndrome. I was going through that. Now let me tell you what is the golden hammer syndrome. So the golden hammer syndrome is about when you have a hammer in your hand, every problem to you look like a nail. And the only solution that comes to your mind is just hit the nail with the hammer. And that's what I was doing. I was not finding a solution which suited the needs and personality of my kids. Well, somehow we found the way. Now, that was a mistake I was making, like I said, and it had to be something that comes from within the child. And I started introspecting with them and found out that the thing that they were very keen to do was food. Yes, surprisingly that was food. We are a North Indian Punjabi family, okay, and we love our food. I'm sure many of you have sweet tooth, but we have tooth for every type of cuisine. That shows the love for our food. Anyhow, now when you go online, you see a lot of chefs who are available, who have pushed their recipes, and they're looking for scapegoats like us to try out the recipes and give them the feedback and eventually give them millions of views. But we also took it as an opportunity. We started adopting them, and slowly what we did was me and my kids took over the control of the kingdom of kitchen from my wife, the current ruler, and we started experimenting our hands on newer and newer dishes, especially the fancier ones which we were used to have it in the restaurant. Now the restaurants are closed, but we still have the need, the desire. So we started trying at home, be it cookies and pastas and cakes and you name it. We tried that. Well, after some burned cookies or some undercooked food or over spicy food, we somehow managed to get there. And that was the moment where I had another brownie point for my wife. See, again the food in my statement, I'm sorry. The problem at home started getting in order. But what about work? COVID forced all of my team to work from home. We were used to seeing each other daily and working together in the office. The corridor discussion about new skills and learnings with other team members, they were part of our daily routine. But the COVID, it took away all such great opportunities as we all started working in isolation. In my profession, continuous learning and skill building are very, very important. But all the classroom trainings were suspended. A lot of our plans were impacted, or I would say disrupted, especially for the people who were planning their career development certification. For example, project management or architecture or some agiles. Now, e-learning came our way as a boom, just like for our kids. It was the time for us to dust off our books, maybe digitally, and learn new skills. These activities were kind of sitting at the back burner, and we started bringing them back into the mainstream. You know, when you get busy in your daily routine, you always find excuse to say, I'll start doing it next week. I completed approximately 125 hours of learning in just 3 months during the lockdown. And to give you a perspective, I used to spend this many hours, usually around over a year before the COVID. So that tells you how much focus we gave on learning during this time. And it was not just me, by the way. Many of my colleagues went through the similar transformation, and they utilized this team very productively by upskilling themselves, by going through some of these new skills, and as well as going through some of the certification, which boosted their confidence, which helped them build their eminence, and really push them forward with their career going. Now, I do not look at COVID as a medical pandemic. For me, it was a reminder to all of us to focus on things which matters more. When I look at past, I see that the complete lockdown period is phasing out, is slowly passing. And it has changed me in many ways, which I'm really happy to share with you. The number one thing for me is there are always ways to do things which you really want to do. You can find excuses, but if you really want to do, I think you should start doing it. Number two for me was around every challenge that comes your way is actually an opportunity for you to try something new, something different. So do not look at it as a blocker in your path or blocker in your progression. Look at it as a new challenge, giving you a chance to give you back the confidence. The number three part that I would like to share, is the change really starts with you. It is easier to pass on the positivity through actions rather than just preaching. And the fourth one, the final one, would be the learning never stops. Okay, COVID made me realize the importance of learning and upskilling myself. In the new world, learning is going to be skill is going to be the new currency, and you have to be rich with that. I do realize that COVID has also disrupted many other things. For example, the students who were supposed to start their college this year, and I really wish that the situation start becoming normal soon, and I wish them a great career ahead. With this, I take your leave and wish you good health and happiness, and take care.